we've got the Porsche Cayenne.
And we're in our happy place. Let's go for a ride.
Put it in sport mode.
Giddy up.
There we go.
All right, we should probably come clean and say we've owned 3 Porsche Cayennes, and right now we currently own 2 of them, but we don't have the current model. What's under the hood of this one?
A 3-liter turbocharged V6 with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 335 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, standard all-wheel drive, and you're going to have to put premium fuel in this Cayenne.
There are options. You can get the Cayenne S, the E-Hybrid, the GTS, the Turbo S E-Hybrid, and the Turbo GT. Horsepower ranges from this base 335 horsepower all the way up to 670 combined on the Turbo S E-Hybrid.
Andrea, what do you get with this base model Cayenne? What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple Carplay and wired Android Auto, 8-way power heated front seats, partial leather seats, heated steering wheel, interior trim in high gloss black, 10-speaker audio system, a power liftgate, LED headlights and 3-dimensional LED taillights, and 19-inch wheels.
Well, the center console is different than ours. There are no physical buttons, but what can we put it in?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put out another one on Saturday.
So make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell to get a sneak peek of what's going on behind the scenes. Don't forget to follow Motormouth_Andrea. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto on Instagram, and the links are below.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
So we have a Cayenne GTS and we have a regular Cayenne, but it's a diesel, quite rare now. This one is different because all of the Cayennes now are turbocharged, and it is very satisfying to drive, right?
It's a joy. I mean, a real pleasure. Who gets into a Porsche and doesn't say, wow, this is quite something. Performance-wise, it is tuned, in my opinion, perfectly.
And the steering and the feedback and the response you get through the chassis is why you buy a car like this.
I find that the suspension is a little bit firmer than I expected, but I like it. And the steering, of course, is heavier. And when you put it in sport mode, everything just tightens up. It's wonderful.
What happens when you put it in subscribe?
Well, we're not going to do that again, are we?
All right, listen, the thing is, this car comes with 19-inch wheels, and it comes with staggered wheels, which is new when this model came out. Meaning the wheels in the front are narrower than the wheels in the back. And this one is equipped with 21-inch wheels, which is maybe why you feel the suspension is a little firmer than you thought. However, I find that this latest model is a little smoother than the one that we have because the wheelbase is a little bit longer. But it's all degrees of great.
Now, of course, if you go with smaller wheels, you're going to get maybe a smoother ride. These 21-inch wheels are almost $5,000, so that's kind of a bit of an extra to add to this base model.
Spendy.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Now, on the outside, not much has changed since this latest model was introduced. There is going to be a facelifted model coming for next year, but are there any changes for 2022?
Yeah, it's got an updated infotainment system, so you're now getting wireless Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto.
Finally.
I mean, I know it's not wireless, but hey, at least we've got Android Auto. There's also a bit of an upgrade to the navigation system. It's a little bit quicker, and also voice activation. They upgraded the software, so it's supposed to understand instructions a little bit more. There's also a platinum trim now that's available on the base model, the S, and the E-Hybrid.
So that special trim is always kept for the last year of the current model, which signifies there is a facelifted model coming, and you get sort of a different look on the outside with the smoked wheels. You also get some more added features of standard equipment. What do you get on the inside? Yeah,
well, one thing about the wheels, you actually get RS 21-inch Spyder wheels, which look pretty cool. And then on the inside, you get some extra features like the panoramic sunroof and the Bose premium sound system, and also with the exterior, some black sport exhaust tips. So I think that if you're interested in having kind of a different look, it's going to cost you $12,000 more Canadian on this base model and $10,000 in the US.
Best value trim and a Porsche, there's really no such thing, but there are some packages that we encourage you to get if you're looking at this car.
I think if you want the panoramic sunroof and some extra features like that Bose sound system, you've got to get the premium package for almost 7,000 Canadian, almost $6,500 US. And if you're looking for heated rear seats and ventilated front seats, it's the premium plus package, and you're getting up to, 10,000 Canadian, 9,000 US. So it does add up quickly, especially if you get those 21-inch wheels as well.
Now, one thing I always encourage anybody for any Porsche that you're about to purchase, lucky you, is to upgrade the lighting system. They offer a dynamic lighting system. It's not inexpensive, but you have a performance car, and when you go to the upgraded lighting package, it makes a world of difference. Has cornering lights and a bunch of other things. Spend the money. Do that one first before you get some other features.
And also the LED matrix headlights are on that premium plus package. So that might be something that you're interested in. And you can get the panoramic sunroof as an a la carte item, just over $2,100 in Canada and just under $2,000 in the US.
All right, the inside is a very simple look, but very high quality materials. So this is quite different than ours. And we're going to get into more of this when we get into questions, coffee, and cars. We're not going to touch too much on it just now, but it is bigger than our model. The back seat is bigger, right?
The back seat is bigger. It slides and reclines, so you get that little bit of extra leg room. And I think on a long trip, having seats that recline is kind of nice for those passengers.
Now, carry on in a cooler, not a problem.
Nope, it passed with ease. Not best in class. This Cayenne offers 27.2 cubic feet of space, 60.3 cubic feet overall, but something like the X5 gives you 33.9 cubic feet of space and 72.3 overall cargo capacity.
Now, as you can imagine, we get a chance to drive 100 different cars a year, and that's year after year after year, and our kids have been in all kinds of vehicles, and this is the one car that everybody in the family agrees is the best as a family vehicle. So take that to the bank.
When we sold our Cayenne V6 and we bought an Audi A7, our oldest son cried.
Andrea, you can't say that. The poor kid, you're going to embarrass him.
Well,
it's
he
like you
was
want to put up naked baby pictures too?
Oh my gosh, he was young. Most kids cry when they're young, and it's okay to cry when you're older too, Zach.
All right, I'm shedding tears to make espresso. Let's get at it.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Does the 335 horsepower engine provide Porsche-like performance? Competition in this range appears to have more horsepower. True.
Andrea, at Porsche, they will sell you a more powerful Cayenne.
They sure will.
They'll give you an S, a GTS, a turbo.
Even the e-hybrid.
Yeah, all joking aside, this feels really rewarding to drive. And it's the way that they calibrate the engine with the transmission. And all of these are turbocharged. So yeah, it's a very satisfying vehicle. We've owned other base model Cayennes.
We have, and they are not like this. I said to Zach, I am really satisfied with this base engine. I would be happy to drive it every day. It has plenty of horsepower and torque, not as much as our diesel that we have. It's a real torque monster, but I like it. It is tuned to perfection.
If you can afford it though, to make the stretch to the S, it's the same engine at 2.9 liters though, with a shorter stroke and a higher performance version of this. That is dynamic, very dynamic.
And you're right, the BMW X5, that base model, has the same horsepower as this, but it's the Mercedes-Benz 450, the GLE, and of course that GV80, the 3.5T engine, also has more horsepower, but this is done really well. Not completely sold on the lack of physical buttons, in particular the AC ones. Well, Zach, you and I, we love our buttons. Our Cayenne has that beautiful center console with all the buttons in chrome. We love it.
It's the way the industry's going, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of people, I think a lot of car manufacturers are pushing this, and I don't think it's better, and you could do all of the same things with a few buttons, But you know what? It does look good when it's clean. It does show a lot of fingerprints. It does show scratches, and it does give quite a bit of glare. You can see how much glare there is in it. It's not a sunny day really today.
No, and this base model does come with all this piano black trim. Of course, you can pay extra and get different trims in the Cayenne, but this is what you get in the base model. I'm not crazy about that.
Other than the screen and the center console, the layout is identical to the one that we have. There's the big grab handles. Everything is similar. And I will say one thing before I forget, because I was thinking about this while I was shooting it this morning, is our car is 4 years old now, and when it's all cleaned up, it looks brand new. Like there doesn't show any wear at all, nowhere.
We put out a lot of content each week on our Motormouth channel.
And if you want to search for any brand, it's really easy to do. You go to the YouTube search bar. First, you start with Motormouth, the name of the channel, then the brand you're looking for. In this case, it's Porsche, and then all the videos we've done on that brand show up. It's that simple.
Is this one better than either of yours? Well,
it's different.
It's different.
Can I go with
you go with yours and then I'll go with mine. How's that?
The nickname of the one that I drive is called Gold Member. You know, member an unfortunate schmatting incident, smoking a pancake.
It's actually a really good name.
It's a great name.
Especially the color.
Yeah, so the color is called Nordic Gold, but it shows more orange depending on the light.
Yeah.
So this is a special and very rare car. In fact, it was a press car.
I know.
Porsche
Canada
press car that I actually bought. I drove it way back in 08, and then it became available, and I got it last year. It's a manual transmission Cayenne GTS. So it is a 4.8 liter naturally aspirated V8 over 400 horsepower, but a manual transmission. Like, it's just so different and weird. No modern Cayenne is ever going to compete with that.
No, and it has an Alcantara interior, which is quite lovely. It is a bit jerky when you drive it. I mean, it's a manual transmission. I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable, but it's definitely entertaining.
The interesting thing is that it's a 5-passenger mid-size luxury SUV, but it's really only best driven by yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's got this sporty suspension and you're throwing the gears around. It's solo. Now, what about the diesel?
So we have a 2016 diesel. That's the one I drive all the time. It's white, black interior, great combo. I would say that, well, I love the torque in it, 100%. This thing flies when you want it to. We named it Dr. Pepper, and I think it's a great name.
Its real name is Hair Professor Dr. Pepper.
Yes,
but anyway, it's a long story.
Yes. I love it. I wouldn't give it up. It has been such a fabulous vehicle. We have had no issues with it. Porsche Center Vancouver is amazing.
Oh, by the way,
Lewis treats us like gold there.
Got to mention it at the beginning. Thank you to Porsche Center Vancouver for lending us this Cayenne for a couple of days. We appreciate it. We got ours there, as Andrea mentioned. They've been really good to us, so we're very happy with it. And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
I do really like the Cayenne, but I think I might go for something like the X5 or GLE before considering the Cayenne. Besides, for brand name, why should someone get the Cayenne over its other German competitors?
The problem, Andrea, is you can't take the brand out of the equation. It's such a powerful brand. I don't know. Is BMW and Mercedes at the same level? Well, yeah, price-wise they are.
Yeah, certainly price-wise. I mean, they all start around the same price. But, you know, I'm not crazy about the X5 base model with the Vernasca leather anymore.
It's cheap leather.
Yeah, it's cheap leather. This is very different inside. The quality of materials that are used in a Porsche is very different. Now, I'm not saying that you can't add a package to the X5 and get this beautiful quality. It is there, but not on the base model. What I do like about the X5 and the GLE when we're talking about interior is that you can get that brushed aluminum on the base trim, whereas this, it's all that high gloss black finish.
And those two vehicles are available with an available third row seat.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't even put my mother-in-law back there. They're really quite small. Hear that, Monica?
Yeah.
But it is an option if you want to get a third row. Not offered. Apparently, Andrea, there is a rumor going around that Porsche is going to do a bigger 3-row luxury, powerful SUV.
Yes.
Is that sacrilege?
Well, I didn't really love it. I didn't really like to hear that. But you know what? It was the same problem when the Cayenne came out. Not so much with the Macan, because we were all used to the Cayenne, but people had a fit that Porsche would be coming out with an SUV. So you know what? The fact that they're going for a third row, I mean, I guess it makes sense. People are buying them.
Right, we're going to get into, for your consideration, what else you can buy, and then we're going to get into the quality scores. That's a big thing with this car as well. So what else can you buy for a lot of money?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the BMW X5 with a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 and a 48-volt hybrid system, 335 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $79,000.
The Mercedes-Benz GLE 450 with a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder and EQ boost, a mild hybrid system, 362 horsepower, and a starting price of $80,500.
The Audi Q7 has a turbocharged V6 with 335 horsepower and a starting price of $75,000.
The Genesis GV80 with a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, 375 horsepower, and a starting price of $77,500.
So there are 4 luxury SUVs for you to consider.
We have owned 5 Porsches, and the one thing I will say is they have been incredibly reliable, and that shows up in our vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The base trim is $79,200 Canadian and $69,000 US. The Platinum Edition trim added to this base model is just under $93,000 Canadian and $79,000 US. J.D. Power gives the 2022 Porsche Cayenne a quality and reliability score of 81 out of 100, an impressive overall score of 82 out of 100.
Here's the fuel economy: 13.8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 10.7 on the highway. That's 17 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway. The Cayenne has an impressive towing capacity of 7,700 pounds. The warranty is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers, or 50,000 miles. Lightning round: 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I love how this handles.
And I love the resale value.
I wouldn't mind if Porsche had an option of brushed aluminum trim instead of this piano black.
It's not going to happen, but I missed the buttons.
Thank you so much to Porsche Center Vancouver for lending us this Cayenne to review. Much appreciated. Dynamic, entertaining, and so fun to drive, the Cayenne never disappoints.
This really is the perfect family SUV. Ask us how we know.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.